If you really want to maximize your finances this year, then make sure you watch this video in its entirety, because today we're going to talk about what you need to do now that the year is almost over. And if you've not met us yet, my name is Thiago and I run a wealth management firm right outside of Washington, D.C. that specializes in working with federal employees. And my team and I do this by focusing on three major retirement components. The first is helping you maintain your lifestyle in retirement. The second is helping you reduce your taxes. And the third is making sure that your wealth is working as hard as it needs to be for the whole course of your life. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do during this time of the year is break out that old financial plan and go over it. You're looking for things like, are you still on track to meet your goals, be it retirement or buying a home? Have you saved as much as you thought you were going to be saving, or rather how much your plan says you need to be saving? Have your priorities or your timelines changed? Maybe your plan needs to be adjusted because of variables either in the markets or in the economy, or perhaps even in your life. Okay, the next one is review your portfolio contributions. Are you saving after-tax dollars so that you're diversifying not only your investments, but the taxability of your investments as well? You don't want to only have traditional retirement funds, because every single one of those dollars are fully taxable as ordinary income. So you want to have some after-tax dollars, whether that is in an individual, a joint account, maybe a trust account, or even inside the Roth if possible. Also, did you turn 50 years old this year? When you turn 50, you are now eligible for catch-up contributions. Make sure you're adjusting your TSPs, 401ks, IRAs, any of the accounts that are retirement that you can put more money in. Now is your chance to bump that up. And also, are you taking advantage of IRA contributions? Even if they may not be deductible, that's still a place where money gets to grow tax deferred, so something to consider. Okay, next up, conduct your annual year-end tax review. How close are you to the income projections of where you thought your income was going to be for the year? If you recently retired, is this a year where you have room for Roth conversions? Does it make sense to accelerate or defer certain deductions on your taxes? Maybe bunching your deductibles will be helpful. These are questions you need to be asking yourself. Also, explore tax loss harvesting. This year was a huge opportunity for that. Doing swaps on tax lots. Just because markets went down this year doesn't mean you can't make money in the form of tax savings in the future. We have other videos in the description box that talk about this, so after this video, check those out. The next one is assess your investment strategy. Throughout the year, portfolios change in value, but what that does is it resets the asset allocation, and you're no longer the same allocation as you were when you started the year. Is your current asset allocation appropriate for what your plan calls for? Should you be rebalancing more regularly than perhaps once a year? Are there other variables that call for a different strategy? Again, questions you need to be asking. You also want to make sure you're assessing capital gains. This time of the year is when all of the mutual funds begin to distribute their capital gains. And if you hold mutual funds inside taxable accounts like individual or joint accounts, not only did you lose a lot of value this year, but you're probably going to have a big tax hit as well. With markets this far off of their high, you should be looking at potential tax savings and possibly moving into more tax efficient investments for the new year to come. Mutual funds aren't really tax efficient. If this is you, now you know how to build a more efficient and better portfolio. If you need help with that, check out our website. Okay, before we do the next one, if you found this helpful so far, will you click the thumbs up on this video? That helps us know that this is the kind of content that you want to see going forward. Okay, the next one is review your charitable contributions. If you're at all charitable, consider whether a donor-advised fund might not be appropriate for you. If you don't know what that is, check the video link in the description. We have other videos that talk more about that. If you're old enough, also consider qualified charitable distributions, QCDs. Not only does it count towards your RMD, but you can also not pay taxes on that money if you are already going to send money to charity anyway. Okay, so the next one is addressing RMDs. If you're old enough and you have to do an RMD, just do it. Don't forget, the penalty can be steep. Again, if you're old enough to do QCDs, consider whether that works for you. Also on RMDs, think about whether or not it makes sense for you to be paying taxes on maybe a little bit more than your required minimum distribution, so that your children won't have to pay taxes in their brackets later in the future. Remember, the Secure Act accelerated how fast beneficiaries need to take money out of IRAs to 10 years. So if you're leaving $1 million to your kids, that's at least $100,000 in distributions that have to come out. If you put that on top of whatever tax bracket they're in when they inherit, they may actually lose a third, possibly more, of their inheritance simply to taxes. Maybe you're in a lower bracket where it may make sense to actually pay the taxes now rather than for your kids to do it later. All right, next up, review your beneficiary designations. Your life changes. People are born, people pass, people leave your life, people come into your life. Maybe you bought a new home, maybe you bought a new car. Legal documents and beneficiaries across your accounts can change over time. This is a good time at the end of the year to review and make sure those are still correct. If you need to change your legal documents, work with your attorney to make sure that that's properly changed in the way that it needs to be. Okay, the next one is reviewing your insurance needs. Are you properly insured? Are you possibly under or over insured? Insurance needs change as your life does, and so you need to make sure you're adjusting it or at least looking to see if there needs to be adjustment. Life insurance, health insurance, long-term care, liability, umbrella, property and casualty. There's a lot of them. Make sure you do a quick look on everything. Guys, and if you want more information on any one of these specific topics, we've put a bunch of different links in the description box right below this video. So after this video is done, make sure you check those out to see if anything else is interesting to you. And this video on the screen does exactly that, going into the 6 things that you can do at year end to help you save in taxes. So after you check this one out, come back to this one, look at all the ones in the description, and until next time, stay wise and stay wealthy.